Welcome back to Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. You've probably seen these images trending all over your FYP pages on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you get your content from. That is the mighty elephant on top of the tree, and that means that Arsenal are back on top of the table whenever you actually see that. But I think the main question for me, guys, and the main question that we've got to ask and answer in this video is, can the elephant go all the way? Can the elephant this time sustain its weight on top of the table? It's absolutely lonely at the top, but can we get to stay there until we win the league? So in this video, we will answer the questions. Are Arsenal title favorites this campaign? Are Arsenal title ready again? This campaign, and will Arsenal eventually overtake Man City and overtake Liverpool to become the third team to win the Premier League in the last 7 years? I'm dead serious. Liverpool and Manchester City have dominated the league not really dominated the league because Liverpool have won it once, but those two have actually been the biggest sides in Europe and the biggest sides in the Premier League. Will Arsenal fix themselves in there? Will Arsenal fit themselves in that puzzle? That is what we are answering. Are we the best team, like manager De Zerbi from Brighton says? Are Arsenal the best team in the Premier League right now? And does that make us title favorites? Let's answer that one. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let me know in the comment box below. Would you love to see more thumbnails made by me, and those thumbnails having the elephant on them? If you do, I would absolutely answer your request. And hit the like button as well. Let's get this video to 300 likes. So, are Arsenal title favorites? I think that's where we begin. Are we title favorites? I don't think we are. I don't think in this day and age where you still have Manchester City and their massive budget and what they can do and the quality and the cohesion and how understanding they are of the game. I don't think anyone can consider themselves title favorites. I think there are only two ways, and there are only two competitions where we know the favorites before the competition begins. Manchester City for the Premier League and Real Madrid for the Champions League. The moment those two are knocked out of those competitions, the moment those two are not firing in that particular season, then we can choose another title favorite. So are Arsenal title favorites? For me, I'm going to say no. I'm absolutely going to say no here, and the reason I'm going to disappoint all of you. I think City have mastered the art of winning the last half of the campaign. I tell you this: if we had Mikel Arteta managing Arsenal for the first 19 games, and we have Arsene Wenger managing Arsenal for the last games of the campaign, we would be winning the league. We would have won the league last season, because for Arsene Wenger, it doesn't care and it doesn't matter. As long as it's the last 10 games of the campaign, he has to win and he has to go to Europe. He has to pick up points. So I think City are still title favorites. And let's stop all this banter. Man City are not good enough. Man City are declining. I think that's true. I've talked to a Manchester City fan, and I would definitely bring them on this channel, to give us their own perspective. I think City have declined, but we have to forget, and we happen to forget, that Manchester City's bar is set so high that when they drop, they have dropped to the levels of Liverpool and Arsenal. And even when they drop, they're massively better than Newcastle, massively better than Chelsea, massively better than Manchester United. So I would still give them that respect of being title favorites. We're going into that part of the campaign where they understand the game. We're going into climax. And I tell you, a man that knows his climax game is better than a man that knows his pre-game. And I think Manchester City are a man that know his climax game. They know how to end it, and they know how to end it in style, right? We've seen them leave the stage a little bit late, a little bit anxious, but they have managed to pull through in all occasions. So I'm going to go. Man City are still title favorites, but we are second. I don't want to hear that Liverpool are ahead of Arsenal in winning the title, in chances to win the title. I'm not having that. I'm absolutely not having that. Two reasons there. One, I think Liverpool will capitulate at some point in time. And many people don't see this, but if you're a Liverpool fan, you would see this, right? As Arsenal fans, as Man United and Chelsea fans, you've got to be afraid of the mighty Jurgen Klopp and his Liverpool side. They are absolutely, crazy. They can rip you apart. But the truth as well is that this Liverpool side has deficiencies. This Liverpool side needs reinforcements at the back. This Liverpool sides will need reinforcements in midfield. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister, that is not the end of the world. I think they don't have a Declan Rice and they know that. And I think that could be the huge difference between us and Liverpool this season. Maybe their attacking and striking line speaks volumes about them. But the way Arsenal spread out goes, I don't think scoring goals will actually limit Arsenal from winning the title. We defend well, we score a few, and that actually just adds up. The math is mathing at the moment, right? So I'm going to go Man City favourites, Arsenal second best in chances for winning the title. Liverpool, of course, are going to be in the mix. We knew that. We already talked about it, and I don't see how it changes. I don't see how Liverpool are going to go away. They will be there, but I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool finish around 7-8 points behind Arsenal and Man City finish about 4 or 2 points behind Arsenal this season. And there you have it. What is my opinion? What do I think about Arsenal going all the way to win the title? I think we are going to go all the way to win the title. I think we are going to go as far as 90 points, and I think Arsenal will eventually overpower Man City and Liverpool. So with Man City, I'm glad that they won the title last season, and I'm glad that they're champions. The pressure that is on them at the moment is immense. The treble pressure means that you could actually win the treble last season and walk away with absolutely nothing this season. That is what they don't want, right? So they will want to focus their efforts on a competition that they think they can win. But it takes so much to win the treble, and it will have taken a lot of toll, a huge toll from them winning that treble. I'm talking about zeal and motivation for the players. I'm talking about burnout inside the squad. I'm also talking about a lack of motivation, a lack of ideas for Pep Guardiola to motivate this team. So what do you tell them? What do you tell them after winning the treble? That we can go on and become what? Immune? We can go on and become, immortal? Are we now playing for immortality? It's very difficult. So they cannot win the treble this season, they know. So they've got to choose. Is it the Champions League that they want more of, or is it the Premier League that they want more of? In my opinion, I think Pep will choose the Champions League every single day. He's won one ever since joining Bayern and Man City. So technically, ever since he left Barca around 10 years ago, or even more than that, he's won just one Champions League, and he would love a second. So for me, with Man City, I know many people actually think that Man City own Arsenal. They do not, by the way. They absolutely do not. Man City have only started beating Arsenal in this era where Arsenal have declined in spending or decided not to spend, and Man City have massively, exponentially increased their spending power. And this season, burnout will catch up with them, and a lack of inspiration will actually catch up with them. You look at these two sides when they're playing. Actually, three sides: Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. Which side do you think is more enthusiastic on the pitch? Which side do you think is more passionate about their football? Which side do you think is playing with an ambition to win something this season? For me, I've looked at all of them, and it is Arsenal. The issue with Liverpool is they have this Alisson guy that has won almost everything. Van Dijk has everything. Matip has everything. Trent has everything. Robertson has everything, and Salah has everything. So they still have that mixture of experience, which is actually very good and which could actually see them over the line. But then they also have this mixture of players that have won it, right? They don't want to push too far. The Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, I think 2000 and 19, 20, 21, is not the Mohamed Salah right now. This is a resting Mohamed Salah. This is a Mohamed Salah on vacation. And I still think Liverpool need fresh legs in that squad, right? They can't run with us every single day of the Premier League title race. They will capitulate. So for me, with Man City and Liverpool, I don't think either of them is both of them are a threat, but none of them is a guarantee that Arsenal, that we are the poachers of for Arsenal. If we focus, if we get our game right, the end game is what I'm talking about, the climax game. If we can get it, then the elephant is absolutely going to stay on top of the Premier League. So a reflection, and this session is going to look at what we did wrong last season, what we are doing wrong this season, and how do we marry the two problems and probably get the perfect season. Last season, let's begin with what affected us the most. Injuries. Thomas Partey's injury, William Saliba's injury, Tomiyasu's injury. Those are the three injuries that I would say when they came upon, the title was gone. So William Saliba had no replacement. We brought in Rob Holding. I am no absolute respect for Rob Holding, but the quality that you get from Rob Holding, or we got from Rob Holding, and the quality that you get from a William Saliba, that is different, right? It's the same thing. This is the comparison. Going to Mars, trying to go to Mars using a SpaceX rocket, and trying to go to Mars using your ride, your car. That is it, right? That's the difference. That is how big the difference is. You'll get to SpaceX using, you get to Mars using SpaceX's rocket. Show a deal, you'll get there. It might take some time, you will get there. That is William Saliba and Arsenal winning the league. With Rob Holding, you're never going to get there. You're never going to get there. And Mikel Arteta will have felt a little bit angry with himself because he had opportunities to sell Rob Holding right from the summer of 2020, 2021, and 2022. And the question, the question he would be saying here is, if I had sold him earlier, I would have brought in another player, and maybe that player would have covered better for William Saliba. So I think one of the things that affected us was injuries, Thomas Partey's injury, what should I say, and drop off in form. But the drop off in form we will talk about. So how do we deal with injuries? This year, you would have expected Arsenal to bring in more players in order to cover us in terms of squad depth. In the summer, I don't think defensively we actually did very well to bring in that extra player that can actually cover for those two lads, Gabriel and William Saliba. But at the moment, I still think Kivio and Gabriel can play against Luton, Burnley, Sheffield, Brentford. They can play in those games. It would be the Manchester Cities, the Liverpools, and all that, right? But also, rotation-wise, Mikel is learning his game. And he's learning that you don't have to play your players 38 games in a campaign, or 60 games in a campaign for them to prove to you that they are this good, right? Take a break, relax, take it slow, man. And I think he's done that now. We've seen Odegaard rotated, we've seen Martinelli rotated with Trossard. We have seen Gabriel Jesus, rotated. We have seen a few players rotated. Some players, of course, you're not going to rotate, like I said at the beginning of this campaign. Rice, Saliba, Raya, those players you will not rotate that that much. But I think with injuries, what helps you is luck and rotation. I think Arsenal have gone with the later, which is rotation, and it's actually working very, very well. This season, what is the problem that might actually hinder us from scoring, from actually winning the title? Scoring goals. Yeah, I just said it. I just put it out there. Scoring goals. Last season, we did score goals. Martinelli, 15. Saka, 15 and above. Odegaard, 15 and above. And Jesus, 11. So when you tally that, when you tally that, that is a Premier League winning season. This season, in the Premier League, Martinelli has, I think, 1 goal. Saka has around 5 goals. Odegaard has around 2 or 3 goals. I think 4. I think 4 goals. He's got a couple of penalties. Kai has 4. The return is not that good. And if we want to win the league, we better find a way quick and fast in order for us to win, for us to to score more goals, right? We need to score more goals. We need to get better at making that ball cross over the line. But still, guys, in my opinion here, at Cossy's Arsenal podcast, we believe, and I still believe, Arsenal are title contenders, not favorites. We are real title contenders, and it's going to be about, can we open up a gap between Liverpool, Manchester City, and the Elephant? That's what the Elephant needs. Just open up a gap. Just open up this huge gap between us and the rivals that are trying to hunt down the Elephant. If you can open up a 6-point gap between us and Liverpool, and you open up an 8 or 9-point gap between us and Man City, that means that you have that one game advantage. When you lose, maybe you played Man City and you lose, and Liverpool win, you're on top of the table by 3 points. And then you get back into winning ways. Liverpool will eventually lose a game or draw, and then you will recover that difference. That's what I think. But of course, it's a hangout video, and one that I need your thoughts about. Is the Elephant safe this time around? Let me know. I'll speak to you right in the next one.